A lot of fish are starting to school in a lot of our lakes in the south. What is one bait that will generally catch the biggest fish in that school? You want to catch a lot of fish in that school, but there's a bait you can throw that will generally catch the largest one. Good morning, guys and girls. May 21, May 29. Reading from a Catch a Better Life book on the Catch a Better Life channel on YouTube and Facebook. If you're not subscribed to this channel on YouTube, it's called Catch a Better Life. Catch a Better Life. That's what it's called. About over 28,000 people on there. If you're on Facebook, Jimmy Houston Outdoors, all capital letters on Facebook. Over 660,000 people on our Facebook page. About 160 or 170,000 on YouTube on all three channels. Be sure you're subscribed to every single one of them. Today we're looking at the book of Jimmy. Most Bibles have that as the book of James. I refer to it as the book of Jimmy. By the way, you want to get a copy of this book, you can get it at jimmyhouston.com, Barnes & Noble, Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, Hobby Lobby, just about anywhere books are sold. James 1:19 says, "My beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath." Wrath, of course, is anger. So you want to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Here's what I wrote about that. A jig can be fished in so many different ways. It's extremely versatile bait. My buddy Tom Mansour is perhaps the best swim jig fisherman ever. If there's somebody better than him, I've not fished with him, I promise you. And he's really been my teacher. I mean, certainly over the years, he's taught me so much about fishing a swim bait. He actually taught Chris more than he taught me, evidently, because she became a much better swim bait fisherman than me. One of Tommy's keys to swim jig fishing is to use fewer strands in the jig for better action. So whatever jig you're going to try to use as swim bait, remove a few of those strands. And that way the strands you have left is going to have a lot better action. So remove a few of those strands. Maybe 30% of them, 35% of them, something like that. Another one is, and this is really key, don't set the hook. Don't set the hook on a swim jig. I've been with so many people on a swim jig, great hook set, tremendous hook set, miss the fish, miss the fish. Simply start winding faster, Tommy says, when you get a bite. So you swim in a swim jig, you get a bite, crank real hard, and then set the hook. You'll miss fewer fish, and I've got to tell you, I always value Tommy Mansour's advice. Spinnerbait fisherman, he's a great spinnerbait fisherman. He's going to give me some advice. I'm definitely going to take it. Today's verse is even more important advice for you and me. It's great advice for the whole world. If every man and woman, as today's verse says, would follow God's advice to be swift to hear, that means being a good listener, slow to speak, we know what that means, and slow to wrath. What a wonderful world this would be. What a wonderful world if the people that we run around with every day would follow this advice. If we would follow that advice. The fact is, you and I can. You and I can and should because of what God has done for us. We should follow His advice. We should be swift to hear, slow to speak, certainly slow to wrath, slow to anger. Let's make this our goal today. Let's make this our goal tomorrow, all week, all month, all year. To be slow to listen, be a good listener, slow to speak, keep our trap shut, and don't get mad. Here's our tip for today. It's a nice one. A jerkbait will often catch the largest bass when we are schooling fish. A jerkbait, that's right, a jerkbait. Now, here's one of the little tricks we do with that jerkbait. We fix that jerkbait and we'll scrape some of the chrome and stuff off of it, make it kind of motley looking, and we will fix that jerkbait and bend the eye of it a little bit and fix it where it will not go down into the water. So, in other words, it just kind of goes across the top of the water. It's a little bit like a wake bait, like a Cajun wake that Lucky Strike makes. It's just a dynamite. Just a regular jerkbait will catch a big fish too. But you take that and you modify that, and absolutely it's incredible. And schooling fish, these clear water lakes, as fish start schooling. Well, start schooling right about now, maybe a little bit later on, and they'll school during the summertime into the fall, especially when those shad get up in the fall. Jerkbait on those schooling fish. It's one that not many people throw at them also, so they don't see that every day when people chunking lures into them. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one. And remember, I sure do love you.